K.T.E. Put it together and what do you get? A WrestleMania podcast.
Yes.
Finally.
It's about time, boys.
Hello and welcome back. If it's your first time joining us, it's been a while. Not much. How about you? We took a little bit of an extended break here on the K.T.E. Wrestling Podcast to gear ourselves up for WrestleMania. We've not been ashamed, Connor and I, and even Elijah behind the scenes, about trying to find our gumption for this year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, because is it just me, or did this WrestleMania just, build up, just drag? Because, we've talked about it on the podcast multiple times. It's like we've had so much time to build this. We've had since February to really build this. And then you had something in March, and then here we are, almost towards the end of April. It's like 10 of the longest weeks of our lives.
It's been really long build up to this, and they still made matches just last week, which is ridiculous. You've had all this time, and now I don't know. Is
it just me, or did they just throw a couple matches together?
Oh, for
they
sure.
Have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, we were just talking about how the women's tag team match was just thrown in like that.
Right, but then you also throw in Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable, quote unquote, supposedly.
Which I do not like.
So, yeah.
We will get to that, but
I'm sorry. Who?
You know damn well who I talked about.
El Grande Americano.
Anyways.
Let us waste no time. We'll be getting into the WrestleMania predictions. First, gentlemen, we are going to start with night one, and WWE has been ever so gracious to give us the matches that are happening.
Sweet.
That doesn't always been the case.
No.
But we do have what we've got announced for WrestleMania Saturday, and before I jump the gun, I think Sunday's card looks better than Saturday.
I would agree. I think Saturday's the low man on the totem pole in this one. Normally, I'm kind of excited for the Saturdays because some of the Saturday cards have been better than the Sunday cards. Yeah. But this time, I think Sunday's got to beat.
We have 7 matchups on Saturday and six, count them, on Sunday.
Okay.
So we're going to start with WrestleMania Saturday. The first match we have listed is the War Raiders versus the New Day for the World Tag Team Championship. And you talk about a match that's only had a week of build-up and not been on TV. This is a match. Connor and I have talked about the depths that the Raw Tag Team has slipped to. And I am shocked that the Street Profits are the one on Friday on SmackDown and not on the WrestleMania card.
Yeah, you could have had the War Raiders and New Day this past Monday, and then you could have put the Street Profits and DIY on Saturday.
Yeah, that would have made a lot more sense to me.
Yeah. Street Profits have had, the Royal Rumble. Ever since then, they've had a really decent, build up, and then they won the titles. Whereas the New Day, they were just going around, going up to people randomly in the back locker room, and people are like, oh, we don't like you. I mean, that's not much of a build-up. The War Raiders don't wrestle too much either.
Well, we've talked about this. It's I brought it up. The Raw tag division is so slim that you kind of can't do anything. But it's also, why are we giving the New Day another match on WrestleMania?
The only thing that I can think about is maybe we get a Big E appearance. And that, in of itself, is a reason to have that on Mania.
Okay.
Rather than, the Street Profits and Machine Guns are going to have a good match.
Which is going to tear down the house, but
Exactly, yeah. The moment of Big E coming out might be bigger. Or I could be wrong, and it's just the New Day are going to win the tag titles, and it's a record WrestleMania moment. And in that, it's going to be the moment that they're looking for. But with that said, gut feelings on who's going to win. It's for the tag team titles. Elijah, we'll start with you.
Well, I think this one is unfortunately pretty obvious. I think the New Day are definitely going to win this. And I think that it makes sense for the storyline. They've had those heel heat beat up, and I honestly think they would be pretty entertaining as the champions. And I think having them with all that heel heat being champion could open the door for maybe some other tag teams to maybe form and kind of maybe, have that try to beat them type of rivalry. I think they would be pretty good champions. I really honestly like what they're doing. It's gotten better. At the first, I didn't really like it, but I think as far as the storyline goes, I think it really makes sense for them to have the New Day. I think the New Day will win. It's not who I want to win. You know me. I'm your typical. I like cheering for the good guys. You know, very few bad guys. But I would love to see the War Raiders win. But I really think it's the New Day.
The only way that I see the New Day losing is if we get an interaction, an interference from somebody else. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're the ones with the most character, and them having the title is going to put a bigger spotlight than the War Raiders. Unfortunately, it's been 4 years for the New Day since they've won Tag Gold. But personally, I think you want teams like the War Raiders to have a big statement by beating a team like the New Day on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm going New Day.
Yeah, I think it's a 3-way tie here with New Day because, the War Raiders are tag champs. They've been tag champs a couple of times, but you got to look at it this way: if you don't have the Usos or New Day these last 15 years, name me 5 tag teams that could have carried this company in that division. You can't. It's hard to do. So it just makes sense to give them that title run because then. You got to remember, the night after Mania, we're supposed to get big returns and debuts and stuff. So what tag team's going to come up, beat the crap out of them, and set up a stage for like Backlash or SummerSlam or that kind of stuff. So you have to look at it future wise. So that's why I'm picking the New Day.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Next up on the WrestleMania Saturday card, we have the battle for who is the best luchador of all time. And the answer is clearly El Grande Americano. Thank you.
I think we all know why WWE did this, to give Rey Mysterio a WrestleMania match. But they also did it because, I'm sorry, but Chad Gable needs a moment when they should have just pulled the card and had him beat Gunther at Mania for the Intercontinental title.
Oh, I definitely agree they should have had Chad win last year. It's unfortunate that he's not on the WrestleMania card this year. He's getting overlooked by...
that Doctor's Note.
That Doctor's Note's pretty legit. It's hard to defeat...
It is. It's hard to defeat the Doctor's Note. So I'm going to give it to El Grande. I don't think they're going to pull the trigger on him losing this early in the gimmick.
No, he just debuted.
Yeah, so, and I don't know if Chad just happens to be at ringside to root on El Grande, then I'd be fine, but I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be a way to get him on the WrestleMania cards.
Yeah.
So, this is where I'm going to be a little different. I think
I'm different.
The whole reason why we're having this match, like you said, okay, Rey Mysterio. I mean, I think there is no way Rey loses this match. I don't think there's any way. And I think we get to find out that this is Chad Gable. I hope they end this crap at WrestleMania.
You think they're ending the gimmick that
they should.
early?
They should.
Wow.
Of course they should.
Never mind. Anyways, is Ryan giving you his stuff yet, or are we waiting on that?
Well, when we conduct the who won the day, we'll share his predictions.
Gotcha.
Just to give him a little bit longer.
That works.
That's probably a little unfair to all of us, but...
No, that's alright. He gets till Friday night.
Yeah.
That works. Put him in Friday night. There we go. Alright, next match. Ooh, next match should be fun.
Yes. The next match will proceed with caution. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Gentlemen, it's going to be really hard to stay unbiased on this one.
No, knowing WWE, Jade's gonna win this match.
Oh.
I'm not going any in depth on that. I'm going Jade for that reason.
E-Dog, Jade Cargill or Naomi?
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I really like the build-up. This build-up has actually been
a
long time coming.
One of the better build-up matches.
This has been built up very well. It's kind of surprising, but they've done a really good job building this up. And, from Naomi secretly attacking her, then winning the tag with Bianca, that fallout. I mean, that's just awesome. This, I hope and I believe, will be a very good match. I actually think it'll be a surprise. But I think this will be one of the better matches of Saturday.
He might not be wrong, guys.
And unfortunately, there's no way Jade loses this. I mean, she has they love to have the baby face overcome, and this is be a huge overcome. A huge, I think, for her, coming back from injury, whatever.
I don't know if it'd be too much of an overcome because Naomi's never really been that big of a star, and that's sad because I always liked Naomi. But this character, had they done this character with Naomi years ago, we'd be talking about a different storyline here.
Possibly, yeah.
But she's fresh into the character. Jade's a well-known star outside of WWE. That's why I decided Jade's going to be the winner, because WWE's like, oh, we paid her all this money. We can't have her lose her first singles match at Mania. If this was next year and Jade and them got into it, it'd be a different story.
Yeah.
But
I think the only way Jade will lose if there's any shenanigans involved.
Yeah.
But I think a big part of it is, where does Bianca's development play in this? Does one of them or both of them play interaction in the triple threat on Sunday?
Maybe. And I still tend to have a theory that it wasn't just Naomi. I still pull in the Jade was attacked by both Bianca and Naomi. But right now they're pulling the trigger with that so they could set Bianca and Jade up for a match potentially at SummerSlam or Survivor Series.
Just on face value, I'm going to say that Jade Cargill will win this match. It's her first big match, singles. And you can't have a star of her magnitude, of her potential, lose in a situation.
I hope there's some good spots in this match. And you got to have that, you got to have these...
There's a healthy amount of matches on this, not only Saturday, but Sunday, on this Mania card, that I think should have had stipulations. I look at KO versus RKO. That would have been a match with stipulations.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cargill Naomi is a match that could have had stipulations easy. Jay Gunther could have had a stipulation easy.
Yeah.
Tiffany Charlotte.
That one should have.
That one I'm fine with not. Jade Naomi should have for sure, because, Jade got pushed off into a car.
Taken out.
You gotta let them go. Just let them beat the crap out of each other.
Table smash or something.
Pushed
off into pushed on the car.
I
don't know.
Table.
I would love to. I wish we did more tables matches, man. That's the Dudley coming at me, but
what?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We've talked about that.
I was waiting for someone to hear it.
Yeah. No, Tiffany and Charlie could have been there. It's just all this animosity, but it's for the title. You got to keep it in the ring. You got to keep it safe. It's that idea. But we'll get to that in a moment. The next match we have on our card, match number 4 on WrestleMania Saturday, is Jacob Fatu versus L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
For the United States Championship. Gentlemen, now's the time. Give it to Jacob Fatu.
I'm agreeing with you. I don't even need to... I don't want to talk about this match. LA Knight's run has been crap. Let's move on.
I don't think he should have gotten the title back.
No, Shinsuke should have still been champion. I understand why they dropped it because he's leaving, but no, I'm right there with you.
I wish Shinsuke would have stayed champion. I think that Shinsuke versus Fatu would have been
a better match.
Would have been a better match. Once again, Fatu. There's no way Fatu loses this. I like you guys said, LA Knight's been kind of mid.
Would it be surprising if LA Knight won? Not at all. But
I could see Solo coming out and being jealous.
I think Fatu deserves this. He's put in the work the last year he's been there. Dude is a monster. Give him the title. Let him run through the mid card. Give him the longest U.S. title reign in history. I am fine with that.
I think it will. If he wins this, it will definitely establish him, and I think that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
I would think.
You can also, ladies and gentlemen, put a timestamp on it. 6 months from now, if Fatu wins the championship, Connor will get tired of that run. He does not like long championship runs.
No, okay.
Then you'll love Jey Uso's run,
no,
because
the
that won't be
only
long.
reason I was tired of Roman is because he was not a full-time champion. I love Roman.
I think everyone
we need a
was.
full-time champion. That is my only problem with it.
That's fair.
I think everyone was tired of that.
Speaking of the Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair, that is our 5th match listed here for the Women's World Championship. And I gotta be honest, gentlemen, this feud has not done it for me.
Can this be a no contest match for us? Because I don't really want to pick a winner on this.
Yeah, no, I don't
Can
either.
we skip this match as a...
Somehow WWE have built a feud where nobody is really all that liked by the crowd. Somehow Tiffany's star has been diminished because of this feud.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair has dragged the weight of her burdens as a character and taken Tiffany down with her.
That's what Charlotte does.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because I was hoping that Flair would be able to do the right thing as a veteran and lift her up.
Can we just repeat what you just said? Repeat what you just said. Listen to what you just brought up.
Yeah?
Charlotte does not do that. Charlotte is only in it for herself, just like her dad, and that's why next divorce should be tied with her father. So, anyways, time out. Can we say this right here on K.T.E? We can predict this match, but it doesn't count.
What makes you say that?
Because this feud, one, has been the longest feud they've had. 2, they haven't put up the draw that they were supposed to. Now, I get they've had 10 weeks or whatever since Rumble. But it's dragged and dragged and dragged. It's been the same thing. Charlotte is beating the crap out of her every week, 9 times out of 10. Let's be honest here. Come on. Let's all agree right now this match does not count for a point. And I'm by myself on that.
Just looking for the person that's trying to agree with you.
I don't know. I have a pretty bold prediction for this one. So,
Oh, okay.
listen, everyone who wins the Rumble damn near wins the championship every
You
time.
wanna grab that thing by your side? You wanna grab that over there? Just oh, hey, whoa! It's like whoever's the prediction champ gets to determine what we do. It's like, yeah.
All right, that's fair.
Wow.
Whenever
He's putting
whenever
the
I
title-
get beat,
He's putting the title on the line, guys. Remember that. This is
Every-
this obviously it's the old
touch it, gentlemen.
old
This will be the closest that
cruiser-
you'll get to it.
Yeah.
the old cruiserweight title they just brought back a couple years ago. We are using it as our predictions championship, and somebody can't stop
can't
winning.
help but win.
So, anyways, all right. So if I'm picking Charlotte because they're gonna force it down our throats.
I think that's a fair prediction. I am picking Tiffany because I think this would be a great win for her. Now, I believe there's been 0 women who have lost the Royal Rumble Championship match at WrestleMania.
Well, one.
And who were it to be if Charlotte were the first one to do it?
Actually, that's false.
Who?
Asuka.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. The first one.
Yeah.
The very first Rumble winner loses to, I don't know, Charlotte Flair.
Well, then screw that.
Exactly.
That's
why I'm
the
saying
subtext.
that's why I'm saying let's not add this match.
No,
That'll
no.
make it 6-6 for Saturday and Sunday.
Well, we got
for
extra
points.
predictions.
Oh, okay. Then we'll add those later. But
Yeah. No, it's a match. It's a title match.
Definitely
We
counts.
need-
This is a big title match.
And it's a big pay-per-view, so it makes
yeah.
sense. If this was like Backlash, I'm like, oh no, let's
Yeah,
not.
forget it,
All right,
Like,
so I
they-
take back what I said.
They need to build.
I'm still going to throw her on there, Tiffy.
They need to build Tiffy up, and I think they have her win. I think this is her huge moment. We're tired of Charlotte. Dude, they beat Charlotte with a dead. It's like beating a dead horse, dude.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but
But you
I don't
just think
the-
Charlotte's
it
not
is the-
capable
People are
of
tired.
letting it go like that.
Exactly. She is one person that will not let anybody win other than herself. She will not do it. I have a feeling.
Maybe she steps away. I don't know.
Also, the thought is, too, she's
You don't
really,
know.
really close herself to be able to beat Cena and Flair's record. And the closer that she gets, the more shadow that takes away from Cena's moment. So I don't think that she should win simply because if Cena's going to win, that should be all his attention.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying it's the WWE and they're going to shove it down our throats.
Now, I'll bring this to your attention because before the build ever happened, you were pretty on board with
this match because Tiffany, like I said, I think one of the first podcasts, she is a 25-year-old who has won Money in the Bank, NXT title, and now she's a world champion.
Yeah.
She has such a bright future, but you're going to put her in the ring with one of the most selfish women to ever wrestle.
And expect her to
her to win. I don't think it's going to happen. I would love for it to be Tiffany.
Me too.
But it's going to be Charlotte.
Fair point. Next up, the penultimate match for night 1. Gunther versus
Yeet! Let's all pick Jay right now because Jay Uso is winning the World Heavyweight title.
Jay wins, for sure.
There's no need to talk anymore about this match. Jay will win because Gunther's reign has been poop.
Yeah, I think Jay's definitely got more, if he was to win this match, I feel like the swag, he's got that charisma that Gunther just...
What do you think are the over odds of this opening the show on Saturday?
I think it's going to open.
That's what me and Tyler were talking about.
I think it starts the match because then look at the rest of the card.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad. So they got to start it off with the bang. And they did it last year, WrestleMania Sunday. Obviously, Seth was in the tag match, so he had to go on first. But, that was a big match.
It was, yeah.
So,
and we were talking off air about how they've done a really good job of making that opening match feel like a quote-unquote main event.
yes.
Right, and it should be.
It should have been the main event, but I understand why they're not doing it.
Well, I think he means it should be in the sense of the opening match.
Okay.
It should either be a title match or some really big
because it's
match.
literally the first thing that you
It's
see.
how you should start
how
a
you open
review,
the
in
show,
my
set the
opinion.
tone.
So we're all agreed it's probably opening the show.
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
for sure.
I'd bet money on it if I was that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But, okay, so like I said.
He even got a new neck tattoo, so come on, you gotta let Jay win.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Well, yeah, I saw it poking out on Raw. So I figured.
I don't know, I just think the underdog story is going to prevail, just like Daniel Bryan did at WrestleMania 30. I think they're going to give him that, whether his run is long or not. I said I would be fine with him being champ till SummerSlam. Then you can have Drew McIntyre finally get his moment without any shenanigans, without any bullcrap. Drew can be world champion going after SummerSlam. But give Jay this title run because the Yeet movement will only last so long.
Right.
It's just like the Yes movement. It never died, but it fizzled out a little bit.
That's fair.
So
and his injury didn't help.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, right, absolutely. The injuries never help, but you know what I'm saying though. It's like even when he was coming out, they were still doing yes all over the place. But
last match, main event Saturday, the battle for WWE's heart and future. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman in his corner. And Seth Rollins just sitting there like...
Or is he?
Can we say this is actually for Paul Heyman? Like, put Paul Heyman in a
shark cage? like Jericho was at the Rumble in 17.
This is like a love triangle
this
for
is the
Paul
battle
Heyman. It's
for
like,
Paul Heyman.
Like the winner gets Paul Heyman.
There's no belt on the line. It's Paul Heyman on the line.
Somebody they put a forklift in the middle of the ring. And it's lifting up Paul Heyman. The match is for Paul Heyman. He's like, but man, this one's tough.
This is a tough match.
It is tough
because there's no wrong winner.
I can see either one of them winning and it making sense. For any of it.
There's no wrong winner.
No.
I'm fine with all of these guys. One of these winners.
You could do anything storyline wise with whoever wins this.
It would work.
Here's.
But you got to think who's taking the pin and who benefits most from pinning said person. That's the way that I look at it.
I don't want to be the first one to give this answer.
Well, because I'm going to talk this out. Because you got to think, Rollins is probably the guy with the least to lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he gets pinned, oh well, no big deal. If Roman gets pinned, that's a big deal for whoever pins him.
Yeah.
And Punk is somewhere in the middle, where his star power is big enough to where if he... All three of these guys, I can say, if they get pinned, oh well, they can move on. But I think Roman getting pinned is the biggest deal.
I don't think Roman takes the pin. I think it's either going to be Punk or Rollins taking the pin. I don't know who pins them yet, but that's who I think takes the pin.
You also got to look at who benefits the most from winning this match. Is it Roman, who... no bloodline help? Does he have the most to prove by winning to show that he can do it by himself? Is it Seth to showcase that he can beat both of these guys and he's still one of the top people in WWE? Or is it Punk who needs, well, I wouldn't say needs, but WrestleMania main event for the first time, showing that he can still do it on a big stage and he's earned the right to call himself a winner. And if he pins Rollins, he ends that feud potentially and can go on to do something with Reigns one-on-one. I don't know. And that's why this is a really tough match to predict.
And then you got the favors.
Right.
And I'm thinking maybe Paul Heyman might turn on both of them.
I think I said that on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
That this match was going to set up, and I saw a rumor on it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible
that
Paul Heyman
Heyman ends up siding with Seth after all this.
I think Seth wins. You can put this down, and I'll even put the caveat. I think Paul Heyman helps him win. I think Paul Heyman will turn. It's a bold prediction, but this is a hard one to predict. Like I said, this match, either one of these guys could win. And
do we only get the point for who wins? We're not doing the if Heyman helps whoever. Or
tiebreaker, maybe.
I'll say
half a
that's. I would say we can add a conditional if we want.
Okay.
To where if you want to add that extra bit to the prediction, you can get an extra half a point. But if it doesn't happen,
it doesn't hurt you in any way.
No.
I'm going CM Punk.
Okay.
And I'm going Punk because, like Tyler said, this is Punk's first main event, which is a shame that it's his first main event. But he finally gets to this stage. Just to have him take a pin, I don't like that. I think if you seriously were, obviously they were serious about giving him the main event, but this if he pulls it out and puts on a 25-minute match, no injury after, he's not out for 6 months or whatever, I'm going with CM Punk.
Yeah.
There's a couple of ways that you could go about this. I don't think Roman wins. I think he's got the least to gain by winning, and to see Roman Reigns close out another WrestleMania victorious with the ones in the sky, that's not interesting to me.
Yeah.
Not to say that you couldn't do something because of that, like maybe The Rock shows up, or there actually is blood. But I'm thinking you got to have something that's interesting enough to close the show. And the two ways that I could think about is Punk wins his first WrestleMania main event, or we get something with Seth Rollins playing some mind games, and that allows him to win the triple threat. Because Punk and Roman seem ever so fixated on Paul Heyman. Not that Seth isn't, but that's not a burden to him.
It's like a distraction.
Yeah, using that as a distraction, and there's not even... Rollins on Raw did say that he doesn't expect Heyman to pay back his favor, because it's an arbitrary favor. He didn't really save him. But with that said, maybe that does lean into something.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
That's why this match is just so hard, dude.
It's
that's
a tough one.
The one match I'm excited for on the card. That and hopefully we get what we want with Jay winning. But
and it makes me wonder, because Punk and Rollins are both Raw title contenders. Could one of them winning lead into a potential world title program?
Yeah.
And
fair.
so if I were to say what I think the most likely outcome is, would be CM Punk winning his first WrestleMania main event. I think that's the safest bet right now. I do. However, I'm going to put Seth because...
You think he's going to play the mind games?
I think there's going to be some mind games going on.
For sure.
And I think that could put Rollins in a position to be the first world title contender for Uso afterwards.
Yeah.
Or at least somewhere close down the line.
Yeah, that would be a very good match.
But it's an extremely difficult match to predict.
Yep.
It's
a tough
I think
one.
Sunday predictions are going to be a lot harder. I don't think this one was as hard as it could be. Maybe we're just not looking into it too much, but this felt like just... Obviously, we flew by the predictions because some of these matches just aren't that interesting.
No.
Some of them are super obvious, I think, too.
But yeah.
Maybe too obvious. I don't know.
Well, we'll see come
We'll
Saturday.
see, right?
Yeah.
That's WWE, though. They'll
throw some curveballs.
They
at
do,
you,
man.
so.
It's WrestleMania. There'll be plenty of moments that'll happen out of nowhere that we never would expect.
There's been stars that admitted they didn't know if they were winning the match until right before the match.
Oh, yeah.
That happens all the time. You know.
Plus, you got to think with WWE,
And
we've had WrestleManias in the past that have been terrible in terms of build, but it's made a great show because you don't have to worry about storyline too much if you can have great matches and great moments.
Yeah.
So, we're hoping that's the case on Saturday.
Saturday's got a lot to prove because it's a 9-hour day for both days, boys.
Yeah.
9 hours.
Are you serious?
Pre-show and 7 matches.
I didn't realize that.
Well, because,
7 matches will take you 4 hours.
Roughly, yeah.
And then they're going to do all the hype up to every single match for both days. So obviously they'll do Saturday all day and then...
Might be 7 to 10:30 both nights, Eastern, that is.
Yeah.
So, But with that, for WrestleMania Saturday, we want to bring it over to you guys. What are your predictions, and who do you think is the best luchador of all time? Because it's definitely one of the people in the match on Saturday. Also, post and say that WrestleMania Saturday or Sunday is better than one than the other. Tell us which one's your favorite night. We want to know. But until that time, we'll see you for WrestleMania Sunday predictions. This has been the K.T.E. Wrestling Podcast.